The other part of the history that I want to talk about too is before white man came here, I'm pretty sure they didn't have horses. Before the Spanish, imagine it. Imagine hunting the buffalo without a horse. Imagine living in America with ancient creatures that are way bigger than you without horses, without mastery over animals, so to speak. Specifically, a riding animal that can take you 20 some miles in a day. Like, a man can only do so much. A war horse is a very powerful thing, and I believe that's why white culture got to be so dominant. And I can say that without like a racist perspective, guys, because I love Native American cultures, I love black people, I love all people. But there's something to be said about studying the horse and the history of the horse and how the Europeans, like the Belgian Germans, the Greeks, the Middle Eastern people, like they rode horses. They did work with horses. They these were this was the equivalent of an ancient tank, guys. If you had a fast war horse, you were like a German Panzerschreck or an American Sherman. If you were a man like Alexander the Great who had mastery of horsemanship, so to speak, or like, I don't want to say necessarily mastery, but like you kind of are. You're the master of the beast that you ride. Um, so, dude, if you're like Alexander the Great riding on a horse with horsemen at your command, thousands, right? 2,000. That is like, I mean, I don't want to say the equivalent of a nuke in ancient culture, but you have a lot of power if you have 2,000 horses and you know how to use them, and you're a great warrior with a spear, with multiple spears, with a sword, with armor. Like, very, very, very powerful image. And then it's amazing to see how fast and how quickly the natives adapted to the horsemanship, specifically the Lakota. It shows how great of warriors they were, and how adaptable they became with the horse, and how even more powerful they became in hunting because of the horsemanship factor. So, yeah, very, very interesting and powerful image. It almost makes you think like, what would have happened if their ancestors would have, had horses or took them over the land bridge. Apparently, from the histories, they teach you that the native peoples came over across from Alaska, like like Russia into Alaska, but they must not have had horses or came over with horses because they didn't have them in this land. So, very, very interesting history, the history of the horse and man.